Let's bring in Washington Congresswoman Cathy McMorris Rodgers, House Republican Conference Chair. Great to see you today. Thank you for being here. And it has been an hour of breaking news, the president driving most of that today. I want to just get your thoughts on the idea of, and the president went on to say that he's looking at his options for perhaps some sort of damages or going after the New York Times for what's happened with this unnamed op-ed writer.
Right. Well, it's really hard to say who should be investigating, if there should be an investigation, because we don't know who wrote it. We don't know if it is even legitimate. I really think who should be taking responsibility is the New York Times. You know, I wouldn't ask for a op-ed to be published that I don't even want. I'm not even willing to attach my name to it, and I don't think a lot of others would either. So the New York Times has really set a new low standard here by publishing this article without even having anyone's name attached to it.
You know what's interesting about this too, and we'll move on from this point. The Times made it seem like this was a high security type perhaps person, a high-level person. If it turns out not to be that, if it is a low staffer, which has been reported now that they are looking at people inside the White House and the administration about who this could be, what does that mean?
Well, that is a good question, because we don't know. We don't know how legitimate this op-ed is. You know, yeah, the New York Times is making some claims, but yet there's no way, because they didn't even put a name to it. And I think it's a new low, and the first order of business is for the New York Times to take some responsibility.
Okay, before I let you go, let's talk about the midterm elections. You've been aboard Air Force One. You've done some things, or not you, but your opponent, Heidi Heitkamp, rather. What is the strategy in the election at this point, from your perspective?
Well, for the Republicans, for the Republican majority, the strategy in this election is to talk to the American people, because there is a whole untold story as far as the impact of the Republican majority and our record of results. And we saw it again today in the numbers, where we see more jobs being created. We have record low unemployment. You know, President Obama said 2 years ago that this was a new normal, that GDP growth would never go above 2%. And we just needed to get used to this new normal as Americans. But yet we're exceeding all expectations. It's a great story, and our members just need to get home.
We'll bring you back. We'll be right back. Thank you, Congresswoman.